What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Kicks coming at you live from the Shoe Palace. As you see, what's on the feet? Okay, nothing crazy, nothing crazy. I know my floor is peeling, it's cool, I ain't tripping. But yeah, man, you guys see the title. Definitely gonna be something a little bit different this time. I'd never done one of these actually for YouTube. I actually asked all the questions on Instagram a few days ago. I screen recorded it, and I'll be able to review all the questions with you guys. I left it up for like a couple hours, so I got at least probably like 200 or 300 questions. Obviously, I'm not gonna answer all of them. I'm just gonna answer most of the ones that I see like often. I do get a lot of the frequent like questions over and over and over. Obviously, I can't reply to everybody, so this will be cool for the people that don't know too much about me, for the new people, for the people that ask the questions. A lot of you guys might be watching this. And yeah, man, just something a little different. I know I'm normally the guy behind the camera, but I'm gonna be in front of the camera today. I never really cared to be in front of the camera. I always felt like when you're in front of the camera, you kind of have to act a certain way or just like not really be yourself. And I've always felt like it's just much easier to just be yourself behind the camera. I've always based my channel off of like my point of view and just like what I'm doing and what I'm seeing. But today's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna pull my chair up, I'm gonna get the camera set up, and yeah, man, we're gonna go over these questions. Knock knock, anybody there? Woo! It's hot, but we're gonna get to it, man. We're gonna get to it. King of the castle, king of the castle. Obviously, you guys don't see me on camera a lot. And plus, no face, no case. Because you know your boy be up to no good. It's hot in here, guys, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. I would throw the fan on, but I feel like the fan's just gonna make it worse. First off, I'm a very like personal person. Not that like I'm a fucking secret agent or some shit. You know, social media has been like a big part of my life for my entire life, so I've always felt like everybody doesn't have to know everything. You know, I've always tried to keep my content like strictly just cars. But enough of that, man. We are gonna hop right into these questions. Hopefully the audio's good, guys. I probably should have a mic for something like this, but it's pretty quiet in here. So hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, just turn up the volume a little bit. Obviously, I'm not gonna be answering all the questions. There's way too many in here. I'm just gonna pick like some of the funny ones or some that I feel like a lot of people ask me and I can never just give them like a solid answer. So we're just gonna start off with a funny one. Are you ever going to build a mamalona, slam it on TEs and add a tome dog? Probably not. I mean, if I just get like a few money one day, probably I would do some stupid shit like that. Let's move to the next one. What is your biggest accomplishment this year that you have set? Oh, that made me think deep, bro. Hop out of the comfort zone into something a little bit more challenging and uncomfortable. Force myself to be put in a position to learn something new ways how to make money, etc., etc. So I guess that's what you could say on that one. Let's move on to the next question. Still considering an RS7? I never was considering an RS7. This is how I know you're not a true supporter. Because at one point I was looking at RS5s. It was never an RS7. Let's move on to the next question. When you bringing out the Turbo Z, we need more content of you taking people to Gapplebees. Honestly, recently it's just been hot. That's why I haven't been driving it a lot. Hopefully soon. It's definitely starting to cool down a little bit, so she'll be out soon. I'm still waiting on getting the rest of this fab work done for the turbo kit, so that way we can make it faster or we can blow it up. It's gonna be one of the others. Biggest debate: why M340 over F80? I guess you could say that's a pretty good topic to argue about. Obviously, a lot of people are just gonna say F80 just because it's an M3. Don't get me wrong, I like F80s. It's a beautiful body style. They look super nice modded up, especially you get like a nice individual color. F80s are beautiful cars. But me personally, I've never really been a big fan of the S55. One, how it sounds. I know you can go all crazy, do equal length, exhaust, mid-pipe, and all that crazy stuff and make it sound pretty decent. I have heard some nice ones that are still twins. But honestly, like if I had one, I know that it would be like not a big project, but I would probably 100% want to like single turbo conversion it. So I just knew like right away it would just be a big money pit. Obviously they have the crank hub issue. That's something you should probably fix like right away as soon as you buy it. So you gotta take that into consideration. I know a handful of people that actually have a lot of issues with S55, just like misfires and like random shit. I'm not bashing S55s. Like I know there's a bunch of fast ones out there. There's a bunch that run no problems. Like I'm not saying that they're bad cars, but when you compare it to like the M340 and the B58s, the B58 is an easier like, go fast car. Like it's real straightforward, downpipe, E50 tune, like the shit's moving. You don't have to really do much to it. the prone like issues they have, the sound. Probably one of the number one things, I just feel like the interior is like super outdated. E90 interior M3 versus like F80 M3 interior is not that much different. If you really look at it, like yeah, it's a little bit more modern. The iDrive obviously is better, but they're kind of similar. But when you compare like M340i interior, dash and everything to an F80, it's like kind of blows it out of the water. Like they completely changed everything in 2020. Honestly, I think it's like a 10 out of 10 interior. Let's move on to the next question. Have any of the cars you've owned exceeded or some people's grammar is like fucking me up. Basically, have any of the cars I've owned like not met my expectations? I want to say no. I'm pretty smart when it comes to buying cars. I do a lot of research before I buy any car. Like I felt like every car that I picked, I kind of knew what to expect from it. Let's move on to the next question. Another person asked, why haven't you bought an F80? There's your answer, sir. How come you don't do videos on building the cars, even though you're not doing it yourself? I'd say most of the time I'm kind of like just drop my car off somewhere. If I'm not working on it myself, obviously I'm like dropping it off somewhere, I have to leave it. And another reason, I don't like filming people while they're trying to work. I don't like being all up in someone's bubble while they're trying to do some shit, especially on my car. So I like to give people space when they work on my cars. I don't want to be that typical YouTuber, have the fucking camera all up in their face while they're trying to do the timing. Next question. There's a bunch of these, so I'm just gonna get this one out of the way. Guaranteed this is like the number one, not worded like this, but this is the number one question I get. How did you get your money besides YouTube? How were you able to afford a Nismo GTR, R8, etc.? If they're not putting it in a comment on YouTube, they're in my DM asking, or Snapchat, or Twitter, or X, whatever it's called now, and they're always asking, how do you make money? So let's break it down. I am currently 32 years old. I started YouTube when I was 15 years old, so that is now about 17 years. I became a Google partner at the age of 16. So that was my first job, literally, when I was 15, 16 years old. My username back then was Blackout15. Basically, I did the same thing that I do with the cars, like my point of view on the dirt bike. Gained about 10 to 12,000 subscribers off of YouTube just from my dirt bike stuff. So that's what started it all. Like the dirt bike stuff started it. I didn't start with the cars, it started with the dirt bike stuff. I became a partner, I started uploading. This is actually when the first GoPro came out. So point of view footage, stuff like that wasn't really like that popular back then like it is now. I had a lot of videos on my dirt bike go like viral. 500,000, 300K, a million. So that was technically my first job. Obviously I wasn't seeing like thousands of dollars. It wasn't like crazy money or nothing, but when you're 16, 17, most people don't have a job or you don't make any money. It'll be like between maybe like 300 bucks, sometimes it was like 500. And then eventually I think I hit like 1K in the month. And fast forward, I stopped riding the dirt bike, so I stopped uploading on YouTube. I had like 12, 13K subs. I kind of just like left the channel, just completely dead. And I actually started to work a real job. My first real job, like basically when I was still in high school, a really close friend of mine knew the owner to a kiosk in like, you know, the malls. And he put me on to, you know, I started doing sales. So from that point, I worked as an independent contractor, just doing sales. I got into selling shoe care product. A lot of you guys see it, like the people at the mall, like, hey, yo, boss, for the Jordans, I had a question. Yeah, I was that guy. So I ended up getting really, really good in the company. The owner was cool enough to let me like fly out of state and go work all over the place. New York, I was in Canada, Toronto, Edmonton, Vancouver. I was working all over the US, Kansas, Massachusetts. I worked in Washington. I was in Virginia. And yeah, so basically I did that out of high school. Your boy was just a solid, full-blown like hustler out of high school. I had never worked a regular job, never worked like a 9 to 5. You know, being an independent contractor and working on commission, you know, it's good and it's bad. There was days where I didn't make any money, and there was days I made a lot of money. So I got to travel all over, I got to meet like a bunch of different people. It helped my people skills a lot. During those few years, there was a point in time where I tried to get a regular job, and believe it or not, I actually worked at Red Lobster. I worked at Red Lobster for, I want to say a week. Yep, a week. I just kind of got tired of doing the sales. I wanted something more like, I had to deal with people, just kind of like go to work, do my job, and just go home. So I tried that out. Of course, I had the worst position ever. They had me doing dishes, bruh. I want to say this was probably maybe the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. I worked at Red Lobster part-time doing dishes for, I kid you not, a week. After that like third day, I started asking some of the people that were working with me, like other people doing dishes. I'm like, how long have you been doing this, bruh? And they'd be like, oh, you know, I've been doing this for about a year. I'm just sitting there thinking to myself like, bro, I can't even take doing this for another day. You guys gotta keep in mind, I was working commission job, so that means I had $50 days and I had like $300 days, I had $1,000 days, and that's profit. That's not like in total sales, that's like profit in my pocket, cash. And obviously I went to this job and I'm working minimum wage, and I think I saw my check at the end of the week. I think my check was like $180. At that like exact moment, I was like, F this, bro. I'm like, I'm not going back to a regular job. I was like, I made way more money just working a commission job and just being a hustler. I knew like a regular job just wasn't for me. Put my 2 weeks in and I didn't even work those 2 weeks. I literally like quit. So obviously, I ended up going back to doing the sales. And this was around the time when I bought my first car, which was the blue G35 Coupe. I was 22, 23 when I bought that car. I didn't ask for my parents to co-sign or nothing like that. I got the car on my own, and it was definitely a financial mistake. I don't know how I'm still a car guy. That car really put me through hell, bro. They ended up doing like a 0-mile rebuild on it. Got the car back, still had like hella problems with it, bro. At that point, I just accepted the problems that car had. It always had some kind of issue, but I said, F it. Like, I already dumped all this money into it, like I'm just gonna keep it. You know, obviously I didn't have anyone that was paying my bills for me, so it really just put me into grind mode. I was just bouncing around different malls and shows and just all over the place. I just started stacking up my money that way. And slowly, that's when I started modifying the car and, you know, putting my money into it. And that's when my name started getting out there. I started going to a lot of meets, and I just met a lot of people. At that point, it was pretty much just sky's the limit. You know, I was just grinding my ass off, you know, doing sales and commission. That's all I really wanted to do. You know, every other job that I saw, they paid. I'm like, it's just not worth my time. Fast forward, I ended up selling the G. You know, I saved up enough money. I ended up getting my Nismo, which the camera is actually sitting on right now. That was my second car. At that point, that's when I actually started picking up on YouTube again. I started posting pretty frequently, and you know, I started off with my leftover like 12K subs, and I just told myself like 50K subs, and then, you know, I hit the 50, 100K subs, and after I hit 100K, it really like threw the light bulb on, and I just like started grinding. Worked at the shop. We were selling parts, you know, clutches, tomes. I ended up boosting the Z, and you know, my social media was just doing this. You know, I was getting promos, I was getting sponsors, like I was getting hooked up like left and right for a lot of shit. You know, building my name and getting sponsors and like the help from all the shops and shit. I definitely would have never been able to do that like on my own, because I've saved thousands of dollars, thousands of just off of sponsors and just connections and plugs and hookups. So yeah, I was still doing the sales up until I was like 25, 26. You know, like YouTube was going really well for me, so I was like, if I just put more time, more effort into this YouTube stuff, I could probably make a lot of money. Pretty much quit doing a lot of the other stuff, and I just became full-fledged like just cars. Everything just cars. You know, I was buying, selling cars, flipping cars, getting profit off the cars. On top of the YouTube, you know, my Instagram was like blowing up. You know, I started doing merch drops. We were killing it on the merch drops. I had a couple good hits on like some crypto, stuff like that too. Nothing insane, but, you know, made a little bit of money there. You know, it was more just multiple incomes. Like, a lot of people hope to get rich or make a lot of money off of just one thing. And not saying that you can't do that. You need to have multiple incomes. Like, it's a must. You know, people ask me this all the time, like, how do you make money? How do you afford this? How do you afford that? Like, YouTube alone pays for a lot. Like, my best month on YouTube was 20 grand. So my bad if this was like story time, but I just get this question so much. Like every day someone's asking me, how do you afford this? Or how do you make money? Or your parents are rich, or blah, blah, blah. Like, bruh, I am 32 years old. I do not have any kids. All I have to worry about, my responsibilities, is my bills and my cars. So yeah, for everyone asking all the time, like, how do I make money? Where do I get money from? Honestly, guys, you just have to be a hustler. So like personally, I can't really tell you guys how to make money because I invested in myself and my happiness. Chasing goals rather than really just chasing money brought me to where I am today. You know, like we all set a foundation, which is our hobbies. Your hobby is always going to be a foundation for money. Anyone can turn a hobby into a career if you're passionate enough about it. I'm not here to give you guys a motivational speech. I just feel like so many people are lost, and that's why so many people ask me, like, how do I make money? Where do I get money from? Like, this didn't happen overnight. Like, I didn't just start making money yesterday and I got money today. Like, I didn't hit a scratcher for like 500K. Like, that's not what happened, you know? What I have and what I've accomplished and what I own currently, this was, you know, 10 years in the making. Like, people have to realize is you have to discipline yourself. And not only discipline yourself, you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you're never gonna make it anywhere. Like, not trying to be an asshole, but like if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in your craft and what you're doing, you're never gonna get anywhere. Just never give up on your goals. You know, we have until we leave this earth to accomplish whatever it is that we want to do in life. You know, some people are gonna take the elevator, some people gotta take the stairs. Some people have a niche and they just make money super easy and it just falls in their lap kinda, while a lot of other people have to grind their ass off. That's just life. There's nothing we can do to change that. But you as an individual, you have complete control over your destiny. You have complete control over your future. You know, the decisions that you make today, tomorrow, the next day, that's gonna determine where you end up in the long run. I just felt like I had to go really deep with that one because so many people ask me all the time, like, how do you make money? Where do you get money from? I want to say it's annoying, but it's not annoying. You know, it's just like, damn, bro, like, all y'all care about is just how I make money. Let's move on, guys, before this camera overheats. Best turbo kit for 370s. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say mid-mount kits. They're just super easy to take off. They're straightforward. They work. You can keep your AC most of the time. I see no better turbo kits than mid-mount ones. They're low-key for people like, you know, in California. Other people don't have to worry about it, but they're low-key, so that's another plus. But yeah, mid-mount kits, I just feel like they're the best. Like top-mount kits, at least for a Z, top-mount kits are a pain in the ass, bro. Like you have to take off so much stuff. Most of the time you have to take off the actual headers just to take off the turbo kit. Like, these mid-mount kits, bro, it's like taking off a white pipe and a down pipe. It's very straightforward. It's super easy. Let's move on to the next one. Euro or JDM and why? Oof. That's a good question. I feel like determining whether you're a JDM or a Euro fan, I feel like it comes from like how you grow up. Like what you grew up watching, what you grew up playing. You know, like if you grew up playing like a lot of Need for Speed or a lot of racing games, most likely you're gonna be a JDM person. Most of those cars are JDM inspired. I feel like most of the diehard like Euro people are like, they grew up around BMWs or they grew up around Euro cars. Their parents had them. I'm 100% JDM, like it's clear. And you guys see the cameras on the Z right now. Let's move on. How the reliability. Some of y'all grammar is just horrible. Like I know my grammar is not the best, but like some of y'all is just, this bro said, how the reliability, wick. He didn't even say wit, he said wick. The M340, wick, having the tune. How bad the smell with catless. M340 has been running over a year, fully tuned, no issues. I've had no issues with that car. Unless you're full E85, no matter what, you're gonna smell like that strong ass gas smell. It's just gonna happen. Next question, are you black, Hispanic, mixed? Yes, I am. I have a BMW for a reason. I'm a black, Mexican, white man. This is a decent question. What gave you motivation to keep going during dark times? I say this all the time. You guys have probably heard me say it. We all have caskets with our name on it. There's no time limit on it. We don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow. We don't know if it's gonna be in 50 years. But at the end of the day, we all have caskets with our name on it. Our time here is very, very limited. Just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel and just try to be positive about things. Let's move on. Next question. Do you miss your queue and would you ever get one again? Nah, I don't really miss it. I mean, honestly, the best replacement for that Q was the M340. So I don't really ever miss my Q. It was a nice car. I did love it at the time. But moving on, turbo the S2K. I am not spending my money on turboing this car. If there's any shop out there that wants to sponsor this thing and do a turbo kit on it, then I will consider it. But until then, I do not have plans to turbo this car. Moving on to the next question. How much horsepower are you trying to reach with the RBG35? That's a good question. I'm kind of hoping the motor is still going to be good. This is another problem I have to figure out later. Basically, the oil pan has been off of the block for a couple years now. So I don't know if there's like rust and shit inside my block or like on the rods or the bearings. Like I haven't even dug into that issue yet. But if everything is good with the motor, it is built. I'm not trying to push that motor. RBs are super expensive. That car's gonna be strictly show street car, just really clean, pop the hood, goddamn. Like that's all that car's gonna be good for. So honestly, anything over 600, I'll be totally fine with. Moving on to the next question. Would you trade the M340 for a G80? Straight trade? Hell yeah. If somebody was like, yo, you want this G80 for your M340i? Go ahead and take it, sir. Would I sell my M340 for a G80? I did want to, but after just seeing so many of them now, and I feel like everyone's done everything to them now. Like you can't even buy one and make it look unique. I just don't feel like it's a smart investment. Like selling my 340 to buy a G80, which I'm realistically gonna be probably spending another 40 to 50K on the one I would want. So I just don't see a point. It's almost damn near the same car, minus the handling and the engine. Besides that, it's almost damn near the same fucking car. Like maybe down the road, if I just get super bored of the M340 and I don't know what else to buy, I would upgrade to a G80. That would be my next choice over the M340i, but I don't think I'm gonna get rid of the M340i anytime soon. Next mod on the S15. That's a good question. I need to put that damn manifold on, bruh. I'm just lagging it on buying the fuel rail. I just don't want to pay for it. I don't really need it. I need it to put the manifold on, but I don't need it to drive the car. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like $1,000 I gotta spend just to put the stupid ass manifold on. So as far as that, I really don't have any plans for the S15, honestly, guys. That shit is basically done. I done went through so much bullshit with this car, and the fact that I can turn this thing on and drive it like anywhere right now is amazing, and I kind of want to just leave it that way. And there's so many questions in here, guys. I don't want to make this video too long. I don't want to make it too boring. This is like why I don't really do shit like this. I just feel like it's hella boring. This shit. And it's gonna take me hours to edit this shit too. But I'm doing this for the real ones, for the people that are just genuinely curious about a lot of shit. Do you plan on buying a house? Yes, I do. Right now, hell no, because the market is horrible. Like, I don't even think I will buy a house in California until I'm literally rich. We're getting a little bit closer to the end, guys. I have about maybe 10, 15 more minutes, and I gotta dip out to a birthday party. So I'm gonna try to knock these questions out really, really quick. Let's go to this question. Have you always been into shoes? I wasn't really into shoes until I was able to afford them myself. I didn't start buying like Jordans and nice shoes until I was like 18, 19. So how's your mental health been lately? Finally, someone is genuinely curious about my mental health. So my mental health, I would say is fine, but you know, as humans, we do all go through shit. I'm no different than any of you guys. So yeah, I would say my mental health is good. Thank you for asking. What made you do YouTube? I was always fascinated with like editing my own videos, making a video. I kind of felt like they were short movies of my life and something I can always like go back and look at, you know, years later. And now that I actually can do that, I think it's crazy. Like when I go back and look at like, let's say my first video on YouTube, I was 15 years old in that first video. And it's just like, damn, bro, like that was 17 years ago. I like filming my own content and, you know, editing my own videos and just kind of making like short movies. So I've always been a little bit fascinated with that since, you know, the beginning. Hey, sir, you just asked 4 questions. I just noticed this. This boy just asked 4 questions. He said, should I get Jordan 1 patent Reds or Jordan 11 cherries? I don't think you should get either. They're both kind of weak. Just saying. Now that R34 Skylines are being legalized, are you currently looking to get one? I just believe the market for those cars is honestly ridiculous. I like them, but I don't know. I've never been like super crazy about them because I just always thought that they were just so fucking expensive. And, you know, way back then, I'm like, all right, well, a nice R34 GTR still is gonna cost me like 100K. That was back before inflation and prices went crazy. Another question, you've had Nissans, now a Honda. Will a Toyota join the fleet? To be truthful with you guys, probably not. A lot of people are like, oh bro, you don't want an MK4? You don't want a Supra? Not really. Don't get me wrong, beautiful car, it's nice, but I still like S15 more than a Supra. I like S15 more than NSX. I like S15 more than RX-7. Like, I'm telling you guys, this is my second favorite JDM car ever made. Obviously, my first favorite is going to be the R34, but just what those things go for is just, to me, it's not worth it. So, yeah, I got the next best thing. Here's another question. Would you host a meet and greet? If we're gonna get on that topic, I actually want to do this. I want to do like a cruise. I don't want to do like a meet and greet. All right, guys, come meet me. I'm gonna stand at a booth all day and just take pictures. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just go out and like do a cruise, do a drive with everyone. I feel like that's more enjoyable. I want to do like an S chassis cruise, like strictly just S chassis. I want to do an S2K cruise, strictly S2Ks, and then I want to do like a Z cruise, you know, strictly Zs, and then obviously, you know, I want to do one for the 340 as well. So, you know, I have a decent amount of following, so I think that I could easily like gather the community and just get everyone together for a good time, and I think that would be really cool. So I might try to be planning something like that soon, so make sure you follow the gram. I think that would be really cool. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to do something like that. I'll be pretty down to do it. I just don't like doing meet and greets because I hate being the center of attention. Like, a lot of YouTubers and social media people might love that shit, but like, I don't like being the center of attention. Next question, a rundown on all the parts you need to boost a Z and how much you'll need to save up. This honestly could vary, especially if it's D, HR, VHR. All you really need to boost the car is a turbo kit, really. You could boost a car, you know, a completely stock fuel system if you wanted to. It might not make a lot of power, but you can. But bare minimum, fuel pump, injectors, that's gonna be like bare minimum. And obviously your turbo kit should come with everything you need. Honestly, it could vary because the kits are different prices, especially if you get one used or if this guy makes it, that guy makes it. I'm gonna say between 5 to 10K. Like, you should be able to boost any Z stock motor with a tune, unless you're just paying top dollar for like everything. Unless you're buying a $9,000 turbo kit and just paying top dollar, then maybe a little bit under 15. But if you can find some connections, if you can get the turbo kit for a good price, I feel like under 10, you definitely should be able to fully like boost your Z and have a reliable setup after a tune. This is a good one. Will you ever get a muscle car again? I say yeah. I just don't know what I would buy. My favorite muscle car is a Vet, and I've already had a Z06 and a ZR1. You know, I owned them for a little bit, and I wasn't really crazy about them. Like, they're dope-ass cars, but I just enjoy my Z more. I do miss the cam. The cam was definitely something I missed. That shit sounded mean. Just the idle was fucking dope. That was like probably my favorite part about having the Vet. Just the idle of the LS. All right, another question. Do you have a girlfriend? Yes, I do. Why don't I post her? Why don't I put her in my videos, etc., etc.? Like I said before, I'm a very personal person. I don't like putting all my personal shit out there on the web. And another reason, niggas is just weird. So yeah. Moving on. Bro, when is the G35 going to be ready? Look, sir. It'll be ready when it's ready, alright? I can't paint the car myself. I can't do the fab work on the shit myself. I can't wire this shit up myself. So you know what that means? That means that other people need to do it for me. And other people got shit to do too. I'm not the only person in the world that needs shit done to a car. So when it gets done, it gets done. Another question, will you buy another supercar? Anytime soon? No. The car market is complete shit. Honestly, supercars, unless you're literally just rich and you can just throw away money, supercars are not a good investment. Me, I'm a true enthusiast. I drive the complete shit out of all the cars that I have. I'm putting miles on it. I'm gonna give you guys a perfect example. I bought the R8. The R8 was 160K. I drove it for 9 months. It was worth 120K. So you guys do the math. It's not worth it. If you like to drive your cars, it's not fucking worth it, trust me. More than half of these guys are, how do I make money? What do I do for a living? Literally. That's crazy, bro. What's the hardest part about doing social media? I mean, if you're talking about just trying to grow, or if you're talking about like trying to make a living on social media, that's two different things. The hardest thing about it is just not caring what people say. Like, people talk so much shit. People always tell you what to do. They'll tell you to do this, do that, but they're not even doing it. You just get so many people that want to watch you build their dreams because they're not ambitious enough to go do it themselves. Most of the time, like, they'll hate because you're doing something that either they want to do or you're doing something they can't do. And it's a vicious cycle, but that is how social media is. So I would say that's the hardest part about having to deal with it, is more like just the hate. Like, no matter who you are or what you're doing, you're gonna get hate. It's just, it comes along with the game. So it's more just like not really caring. All right, guys, we're getting really close to the end here, so I'm definitely gonna be wrapping this up. I hope this video is not too freaking long. I want a G or a Q. What are some good big power mods that aren't 85 or upgraded turbo? I don't know, 5B58. Are you ever gonna get another bike? Honestly, probably not. I lost a buddy not too long ago, and yeah, after that one, I'm like, nah, I'm good on the street bikes. Dirt bike, possibly, but I live an hour from the dirt, don't have a truck anymore. Yeah, a lot of these are the same question, man. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one to kind of start ending this here. What's your 10-year plan? That is a very, very good question. I don't really have a 10-year plan right now. I'm really just going with the motion. I'm still in that point in my life where I'm like, I want to stick with the social media shit. Like, do I really want to go full send with this social media, or is my purpose somewhere else? I'm still kind of battling that. But definitely, obviously, in the next 10 years, I plan to be like extremely successful. You know, you gotta manifest shit. There's a lot of stuff I want to do, but you can't let the next man know all your plans, you know what I'm saying? Because then they try to snake you. This is a very good question. Appreciate you for asking this. How's your friend doing that got gifted the Miata? He's doing well. He's doing well. That man got like 50 kids, but he's doing well. Nah, he got his own spot now with his girl, and you know, he's just being a dad. So he's doing good, so I appreciate you guys for asking about him. If you never did this YouTube stuff as a job, what's a job you see yourself doing? Damn, that's deep. Owning some kind of business, some kind of company, a shop. Basically an entrepreneur, you know, like I've always had that in me to just, like a hustler has just always been in me. So I just think that way. Like, I don't think about working for people, you know, like I don't ever think about working for anyone. Yeah, that's kind of gonna complete it, guys. Most of the questions that I answered were the ones that I see most frequently, so I wanted to get those out of the way. But I'm pretty sure that's good for now. I'll probably post another one of these on my Instagram soon and see if we get like some different questions. So yeah, it is hot in here, bro. Not gonna lie to you guys. Guys, as you see, we got the F1 kicks on the S2 Kizzle. Huge shout out to my guys over at Performance Registration for always taking care of you, boy. My leg is cramping and shit from sitting there so long. I hope you guys enjoyed this, man. I hope this answers some of your guys' questions. I know a lot of people are curious about my life and shit that I've done and shit that I do. Be sure, guys, to drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Catch you guys in the next one.